Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to my video. Today I'm going to run through how to fix an issue that I've been having with GNS3. I know this is quite a common issue. I'm not only going to run through the fix to get the GNS3 virtual machine running in GNS3, I'm also going to run through the fix that the knock-on effect this has on the rest of your networks. So here we have the process in order to fix this. If you're happy with what these mean, then by all means just take a list, go ahead and apply your own fix, but I'm going to run through these steps through this video with you. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, the issue we're having is GNS3 is unable to talk to the GNS3 virtual machine which we're running GNS3 in. And this is obvious, the error we got on the screen and the fact that the GNS3 icon here is not lit up green. So this error tends to come around when there's an issue with the GNS3 talking to the virtual networks that you set up in VMware Workstation. Now the fix for this is quite simple on the face of it. We close down GNS3. And we open up our VMware Workstation. We go to Edit, Virtual Network Editor. And then in here, we see we have this button down here called Restore Defaults. So this is the only fix that I found for this error. However, when we click this button, it's going to restore VMNet0, VMNet1 and VMNet8 only. And chances are it will restore VMNet1 with a different IP address than what we're using. So the first thing you really need to do is to make a note of all your different networks and what IP address and subnet mask you have configured for them, in order that when we restore the defaults, we'll have to recreate the new networks and allocate back the IP address and subnet mask for each of those. Okay, so we click Restore Defaults. Now this is going to uninstall the virtual network adapters within VMware Workstation. It will also uninstall them from within Windows as well, which may or may not be a problem for you depending on what you're using it for. I like to have the virtual network adapters set up in Windows as well, so that I can directly access the stuff on them networks. Okay, so once that's done, the first thing we need to do is, as you can see here, VMNet1, it's been restored, but it's restored it with a different address. So the first thing we need to do is put that back, so that when GNS3 tries to talk to that virtual network, it's talking to the right address. Okay, so if you're running just a very bland GNS3 setup and just using routers within GNS3, this will fix your problem and you won't need to do anything else. If, like me, you're running several virtual machines within VMware Workstation and you want them machines to interact with GNS3, then you're going to need to recreate your virtual networks. And in some instances, not only will you need to recreate them in VMware Workstation, but you're going to need to recreate them in Windows, which to do as a manual process is not that difficult, but can take some time. So I've scripted some of this in order to that, you know, when I run the fix, I can just paste them back in and we're back up and running. So we will, the next part of the fix is we will recreate the virtual network adapters in Windows. In order to do this, I actually use GNS3 itself. So we go to Edit, Preferences, VMware, Advanced Local Settings, and you can see here we're going to create VMnet2 to VMnet19. And any errors that you get within GNS3 at this time, you can just ignore until we've done the whole process. I should probably show you while this is going on that my virtual network adapters have did disappear. They're being built as this process goes on. You can see there's not 19 there yet. We refresh it. Yeah, they're coming back in now. Okay, and hopefully they are there now. 18, 19, there we go. So that's our network adapters back. Now we need to configure them. So we're done with GNS3 for the moment. We'll close that back down. Now we need to open a command prompt, but we need to run this as an administrator to apply this bit of configuration. Now the syntax that we're going to use is this one here. It's a part of the netsh command. So what I did is I took all my virtual adapter settings with this, and I created a line for each one with the relevant VMnet adapter name and the IP address, the subnet on there as well. So these are my settings for the virtual networks that I'm using. Literally just copy. And paste them in there. Now a quick check of that just to make sure it's gone in. So 16. Now configured with 10, 12, 130. Is that correct? 16, 10, 12, 130. Okay, yeah. So we're happy that that's worked. Now, unfortunately, the adapter settings in Windows and the adapter settings within VMware don't seem to marry up. So we have to now configure them within VMware as well. Again, it's not overly complicated to go into VMware and create a new adapter and give it an IP address and give it its mask, but it's just time consuming. So I've also scripted this as well. However, we can't do it direct from the command line. We need to do it from, so we need to first of all navigate to the VMware directory. And then we need to run this vnet library64.exe. Now you can just run the vnet library.exe if you're running the 32-bit version of VMware Workstation. However, I'm running the 64-bit. So the line of config to configure your network adapter is here. And again, I've just scripted this. So literally copy, paste. There we go. And now we'll just give that a check to make sure that that's configured. So back into the virtual network editor. And here we go. You can see all my new adapters. One we checked before, VMWare 1012.130. So that looks like it's worked. To double check to make sure VMNet1 is the correct address. VMNet1 is usually the standard network adapter that GNS3 will use if you configure it out of the box. Okay, we've got an issue with VMNet12. The subnet IP and subnet mask are mismatched. Oh, okay, yeah, so this is my bad. This should be a 224, and I think there's probably going to be another couple in there as well. Yeah, that should be a 240. This is me being lazy and just using a /24 for most of my networks, and I think that should be a /248 as well. If you don't know subnet masking, I'm not gonna explain to you how it's done. It's a whole other topic, and it's too long for this video. Okay, so now we close down VMware Workstation, and hopefully we run GNS3, and it should work. Okay, could not bind with... Okay, I think I see what's happened here. So when we did the restore on the VMware Workstation virtual networks, that network disappeared. So the binding that GNS3 is using to talk to that virtual machine is actually disappeared. So if we go to Edit Preferences, and under Server, yeah, here we go, the host binding set to localhost. So we just now need to change that to 192.168.138.1. Okay, that. We'll give GNS3 a restart. Okay, it actually it tried to start up the GNS3 VM in the background before, just as I was closing GNS3. So, I mean, that's a good sign, really. We'll give it a few seconds just for the process to die, and then we'll open up GNS3. Okay, and as I said, yeah, the process was already running in the background, so GNS3 has killed it off for us. Okay, yeah, it's kicked off GNS3 VM in VMware Workstation, which is another good sign. And then hopefully this should go green, and we can run our lab. Okay, let's just try and kick it into life. I'll open the lab. And there we go. That's a good sign. It's quite a large lab that I've just tried to open. That's why it's taking its time. Yeah, as I said, it's quite a big lab that I've got here, so that's why it took so long to open. But it is open now and it's working, so there we go. There's the fix. I hope this is helpful. Hope you liked it. If you did like it, click the like button. Please share and subscribe, and thank you for watching.